We're back for episode 4 of Life Lessons with Dave and moi. What were we talking about last time?
4? It feels like 40.
No. Times 2, and that's close to his age.
We were talking about the difference between jobs that were done and the performance when we were young and we were in the business.
Right.
And now.
Right. And you have a theory.
Something and that is?
You mentioned it on the left about reading the teleprompter and such.
Well, I don't think you should be. Oh God, how do you say this?
Well, I'll help you. My philosophy was, and I don't know if I've said it before. My philosophy on television was, but again, I really wasn't any good for years.
Radio too.
Right. But I've always respected radio guys more than TV guys because they have to make stuff up. They got to ad lib. They have to have command of the language. TV, I used to say, if you can't read the teleprompter, for me, toward the end of my career, I said, I don't want the prompter. I'm like you. I just want to talk. And I would tell my director in Roanoke, Virginia, I'd say, listen, I'll say a few sentences, just hit the tape, and we'll go. You know, it's much like a Friday night high school football show where because if you can't read the prompter, come on.
The prompter, that's part of the problem.
Right.
It used to be paper taped together.
We've talked about that.
And then
5-ply.
Then they did the prompter electronically, off to the side, below, above.
Right.
And they put it over the lens.
Right.
And that was my favorite.
Yeah.
But the bad thing was, I had pretty good vision. Somebody who didn't was on the show with me.
Right.
And had 3 words on a page so they could see it.
Wow.
And I could read 7 or 8 lines without.
But see, you strike me as a guy that doesn't need the teleprompter. You're natural, you're real, and that's your appeal.
Well, sorry.
It attacked him. Look out. The attack of the killer Mike.
Bad Mike.
That's right. Bad Mike. And his name's not Mike. But anyway.
I seem like I can talk off the top of my head, and I can.
Yes,
that's
can. Your appeal. I always thought.
But the person that I am delivering the message for,
right,
wants me to say specific things. And when growing up doing commercials, that's what I learned.
Right, you became more natural at it.
But I was able to read a copy the first time and point out a couple of errors in the syntax.
Right.
And why are you saying this? And then we do it again, and it sounded great. And the guy would say, that was brilliant, thanks, Dave. Or he'd say, we're going to get somebody else. Read what we tell them to read. And I go, well, good luck with that.
I always have said, sometimes you'll be watching whatever, and anchors will try to act like TV anchors. They'll try to act like they should act, rather than just being themselves, which I always have said is your appeal. Talk to the camera. Don't talk at the camera. Does that make sense?
It's a person.
Correct.
It's a person staring at you, waiting for you to say something to them.
Where'd you develop that?
Somebody just said something like that to me.
Because I remember when I won, I was scared to death. You know, I thought, I'll be great. These people suck. You know, and I went on the air in Spokane, Washington, and I said something like the 109th Kentucky Derby was run today down in Kentucky. And I actually heard an anchor repeat something recently to it, and I went, God, my writing sucks. And I looked like I was 8, and I sounded like Mickey Mouse, and I was scared to death. It took me 10 years just to get the jitters out. You didn't matter to you at all.
Well, I've had my moments like that.
Like what?
Like where I was a little discombobulated, not knowing what I should say, and feeling uncomfortable reading prompter.
Yeah, but you can always find your way out of it because that's the joy of your personality. You're quick.
Well, maybe that's it. That's it.
And that's, again.
It's hard to do.
Nah, you're a natural at it.
No, it's hard to do, trust me, because I've seen people fail at it my whole life.
Well, I always again, we got to get off the TV thing, but I always tell people, you can always tell when the prompter dies because you'll see somebody going, oh, and then the I'll start pouring out of their mouth, and I'm like, yeah, the prompter died. To me, I've always said about anything in life, not just TV, the mark of true talent is not when you have, it's when you don't. So when the prompter would die on me, when I used it, I would keep my head up because I didn't want people to know, and I just relied on my quickness and my knowledge. And sometimes I stunk at it, but most of the time I got through it. What say you?
Watching Walter Cronkite
Yes.
when President Kennedy was
We
assassinated.
talked about that before, and he got emotional.
He did. The news from Washington, apparently true. And he pauses and takes his glasses off
Right.
because he knows he's going to cry.
Because he was real.
Yeah,
He was
and
us.
President Kennedy was assassinated today.
Now, but see, a lot of the people out there, the kids, people, they don't remember that like you and I do. I can still hear the drums going down Pennsylvania Avenue with the riderless horse and the boots hanging from the side. I can still hear those drums.
And
Right?
his little kid saluting, putting
John
his hand on
Jr..
his heart. Yeah.
Yeah, John Jr. on the steps. Well, no, as one part.
Yeah, and he grows up and then makes a horrible decision to fly that plane.
But Dave,
And
life.
it felt like my kid, one of my kids, because I'd known him all of his life,
Right.
and that scares you in a weird kind of way.
Well, if you've had kids before, you can relate.
Yeah.
And people who don't have kids, I mean, they can relate, but it's different when it's your blood. Right? We're getting deep,
The world's deep, my friend,
especially.
and you know what it's full of right now.
Well, I don't know if you step in it or.
Don't get it on you.
But a lot of people don't care because my nose is running.
Mine too, but hey, we'll just sniffle. We'll sniffle through this.
See, that's the beauty. You could always find your way out.
Walter Cronkite was an anchor. That's what I consider not a news reader, but and I never saw
Why
him
use
out
the
of,
word anchor? He was a person. He was us.
I never saw him out of his real character.
Correct.
I never saw him just kind of gloss over a story because it was something, and I've seen that now all the time.
Right.
Not necessarily on any local stations, but
Look,
you know what I mean.
why don't you want to talk bad about local stations?
Well, because I was there. I mean,
Reputation. See, he's got a reputation.
I remember the prompter.
See, and I got nothing to lose. I don't care.
The tape failed and the prompter paper came apart. And there
I
was
remember those
no
days,
prompter.
man.
And I sat and looked at the camera, and my mouth moved a little bit. And then I started sliding down in the chair
Right.
until just my eyes were on the camera like this. And I slid completely out of the picture.
But see, to me, that's entertaining. People probably liked it because
They
you
still,
were real
they
and you
still
didn't
tell
know
me
what to do.
they saw that.
See? Now, what would other anchors do that have to think that they have to act like an anchor rather than a real person? What would they do?
Start fumbling around looking for a
Yes.
script.
See, and it took me a decade just to figure that out. I can still remember when I was in Virginia, after starting on the air in 1980 and 1990, what was I? I'm Baltimore's producer. 1980, I went to Spokane, Washington. 81, I went to Wilmington, North Carolina. That's where I knew Michael Jordan. He
Well,
would
you
know
did
me.
travel around a lot.
Well, I'm a journeyman. As we say in boxing, I'm a journeyman. 84, I went to Billings, Montana, covered Montana State Bobcats. They won the national championship, the only one they had won until this past season. I went to Charleston, South. I got all kind of stories. Got fired, went to L.A., pursued an acting career, did a play, picture and variety, big deal. But you go in a room, you think you look young. I was 29, I look like I was 15. You think you look good? You go in a room and 20 other guys walk in and they look better than you. And mentally, I just wasn't that confident. 86 to 90, I'm in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Went live from Yankee Stadium, live for the Final Four. You name it, I've done it. Tyson Spinks fight, live. 90 to 2000, I'm in Harrisonburg. It was in Harrisonburg all those years later. First time I went on the air, I anchored. And I went, God, I finally found JJ. JJ's finally here. For those first 10 years, I was in and out, scared, whatever. You, K-Meg, bang.
Part of the reason I had success at K-Meg was that I was allowed to do a kids show in the afternoon.
Yeah, we talked about that.
and be myself.
But
and
you didn't care. See,
No,
I cared.
'cause it
You
was-
just fell
it was
into it.
fun.
Yes.
And it was a little extra money.
Yeah, $50 you told me.
$50 a week. 5 shows, $50 a week.
But you could totally let your hair down. But you went into it not even knowing what the heck, I'll do it. I can always go back to Chicago, you've always told me.
No, my dad said that.
Right, but
to my
me,
wife.
But for me, it was like, got to do it, got to do it. So I just never. So I wanted it too bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. You when you want something too bad and you don't get it,
Yeah.
it makes it even worse.
Yeah.
If you keep a kind of a level
What?
attitude about trial and error, success
you
and
have-
failure.
I didn't. Did you find balance? Because I tell kids today, you got to have a balance. Smell the roses, balance. Did you find balance? Home life, outside Channel 6.
I found me.
How so?
I found out that the person I was on the air is the person I am in private. And I have the same values that I have in private.
See, but a lot of people that are on television, that is their appeal. The ones that are successful, because that's them. For me, I was trying to act like I thought I should.
Well, there's nothing wrong
And I
with
was
that.
scared.
But you have to grow into
Correct.
your air personality has to someday coalesce with your real personality.
But remember that story you told me where you were at a convenience store and someone came up to you and remembered that not so long before you had given them money for gas. And you told me that you had a second person come up to you and relate
Same
the
time.
story. Right,
Like 5 seconds later.
right. Because you were real. I thought about it after we taped, and I was in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I've been everywhere. WYOU. Our station was on a main thoroughfare, so we had a big window, so people could look in the window, which I kind of thought was kind of cool. You felt special. And a person came in and said, "Hey, I want to go to a funeral. Does anybody got $20? I need money to travel to a funeral." And like you, I can remember, and I went, "Yeah, I got $20." So I gave it to this person. And people came up to me and said in the newsroom, "You don't even know what that person needed it for. They could have needed it for booze, drug. You don't even know." But because I'm such a schmuck,
Easy mark.
or a kind soul,
Was it
or an
true?
easy
Was
mark,
it true?
I'll never know. But so when you brought up your stories about that, I thought of that.
But
I don't know if it's true. I never saw the person again.
then the only truth you know is what you believed when they told you.
Yes.
Then that's it. That's all you got.
Well, you and I have talked about.
But that's fine.
You want to treat people how you want to be treated. And
Yeah.
I always feel like God's not going to say to me, oh, now I'm getting in religion, so that's going to tick people off. Hey, well, you made this or you did that. No. I hopefully one day will be met and said, you treat people the way that you want to be treated, and that's what's most
That's what
important.
he said that was important.
Right.
Treat other people.
And
like
that's
the
what
way
you told me
want.
on our show In Focus, remember?
I could not agree more. If you want to be treated in a certain way, then treat other people that way too.
I try to be, there are times that I will. Attack of the Killer Mike Part 2. Watch Dave Weber as he wrestles. No,
There goes a cap.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Uh,
That happens. I forgot what I was going
treat
to
people, other people, the way you want to be treated.
say. No, I can't remember. I lost it. I lost it.
It brings up that phrase is the most important phrase I can think of as a human being.
Right.
And it doesn't only work for people, it works for animals, cats, dogs,
Right. I know what I was going to say.
total strangers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will apologize to people. I say I'm sorry a lot. I'm sorry. Even when I'm right. Because I want to be liked. How many times have I said to someone, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. And in my mind, I'm going, what are you doing? Because I'm just a passive aggressive, I don't know, nice
Peacemaker.
guy.
You're a peacemaker.
Yeah, I'm not a. But if I know I'm 100% right about something, 100%, I will fight. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. And like we've talked about on social media, I think most people on Facebook, Twitter, what they're followers. They're not leaders. They go with whatever somebody says, and they don't investigate. They don't care. That's who they are. That's
Easily
not me.
led, easily led.
Correct. That's not me, and I don't think that's you, even if you don't know the technology.
10 people get together and talk about something.
Correct.
If they're all the same, talking about the same thing, agreeing, and it's bad,
Right.
they change into a mob.
Right. And if you dissent, forget it.
Yeah, you're part of the enemy.
So what do you do? Well, but then some people will say to me, well, you shouldn't be sticking your head in the sand. And I'm like, it's not about sticking my head in the sand. It's just about knowing who I'm talking to or believing I know who I'm talking to or dealing with. And there's no way that I can say anything that'll get through to you. So I just say to myself, it's not worth it. Pick your battles. This is not good. You think what you good. Right?
Absolutely, pick your battles. Yeah, know what you're fighting for and know when to fight
Correct.
for it.
But see, today, I'm not really sure what I'm fighting for. I don't know. We've talked about this, where the truth lies. So I'm not really going to give my opinion. I just know that I see so much hatred out there that it blows my mind because I think most people follow and they don't lead, and or they believe they're right, but they don't really investigate. But then again, where's the truth? I don't know.
And they're easily led.
Yes.
They
Now, we have a scoreboard in sports, right? We know who won, who lost. Life, I don't know. It's
Well,
a different deal.
It's like I go back to Facebook again.
Yeah.
I watched the American team and I watched the Canadians
He's talking about
hockey.
hockey, which
And
U.S. won in overtime. This show is actually going to be airing a week after the Olympics, right?
I watched it and I came to conclusions because I did hockey play-by-play. What's up in Sioux City? for
That's
a while.
hard.
Yeah.
That's hard, man. Sioux City Musketeers, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
And I knew you don't know all the underlying things. All the one of the players said after the game that boy, Canadians really hate Americans. And I think I said, what? Well, but I don't know what happens in the
Right.
handshaking. I've seen guys hit each other in the handshaking line.
Right.
So you can't have a game that physical and not have those situations build up and build up. But I didn't see anything in the game. I said, it's a great game.
First of all, I love the class that hockey players show.
Yeah.
It's the only sport I always used to say where they call each other boys. You know, let's go, boys. I've never really heard that a lot, that vernacular in other sports. Number two, I love the handshakes. After these guys take each other into the boards, fight each other, they shake hands, which I think is very classy.
I've seen them not shake too, just walk right by a guy.
Well, I can understand that too. I think that game was probably the most intense game I'd ever witnessed on television. You could feel the intensity in that game. And the build up to that match, that game, was the players representing their respective countries just embraced, loved their countries. Hockey, as you know, is Canada's game. And they don't lose that much. And they're really good. Connor McDavid's the best player in the world. Sidney Crosby, the whole bit. American-born hockey players, Jake Gensel from UNO, et cetera, they've come on. The program has grown. So there really isn't a like for each other, even though some play on the same NHL teams. But when they're representing their country, I think it's a different beast. So you could feel the intensity level, and that game was just incredible. To me, it was like watching NASCAR, like Talladega or Daytona. You're on the edge of your seat the whole time. So I do think there was also a mutual respect there, even though in the heat of the moments, they showed their love for their country.
My whole hockey changed in '80 at the Olympics.
Yes, where were you?
They beat watching it on TV.
Me too.
When they beat Russia in the semifinals, and then won the gold medal. And I said, this is a lesson we should learn.
Right.
Something from it. A team of professional guys that all they did was play hockey.
Right.
And I'm not saying that college hockey kids,
No.
that may not be all they
Amateurs.
do. Amateurs.
Right. And I remember
Yeah.
Tretiak was the goaltender for the Russians, the greatest goaltender in the world. And of course, they portrayed the Russian coach in the movie like he looked, he had those eyebrows and he looked like a mean dude, because they always portrayed the Russians to be a little bit meaner than what they're people too.
Who was the wrestler? Rulon Gardner,
Yes,
going
from
against
Nebraska.
the best wrestler
Right.
in the
What
world.
was his? Yeah, yes. He'd never lost in years.
Soviet Union. Never lost in 30. He's 30 years and never lost a
Whatever.
match.
Yeah, and he was a mean-looking dude.
Yeah, and
But he was good.
Rulon Gardner
1-0, I
won
think.
nothing.
He won. Yeah.
Because he outlasted him.
Correct.
He was a 264, 265 pounds,
Yeah.
85 pounds, and he just outlasted him.
Yes.
He was in better shape.
Sometimes in life, Dave, we
Yeah.
get these wonderful, emotion-filled moments. Hockey, Rulon Gardner, every now and then, right?
It changed my feelings about sports. I felt that. And when Secretariat won,
Oh, Big Red, baby. Ron Turcotte.
I sat there in the sports office and edited the video so I could run it, and I was crying the whole time.
Uh-huh.
And I'm crying about a horse that won a race.
But see, I don't think that's what people understand. When I watch the Open, just the Open, to the Indianapolis 500 or to other events, I get teary-eyed because it's not love of sports, it's love of sport. The competition, the Open to the old wide world with Jim McKay, the guy falling off the ski jump. Or it's just, if you really embrace it and love it in your heart, there are certain moments that just, you don't even know why you're crying. You just love it so much. So that's why I like to watch the opens of shows or the prom, because it stirs up my emotion. And a lot of people don't get that. It's the love of sport that keeps me going. You?
I don't know why I would become emotionally involved watching a horse.
How were
run a
you
race.
that night at the Orange Bowl when Huskers won and you had the corn cob? What were you like?
I was in shock that it actually happened. That the voice that I heard out of the stands that I assumed was not this world. I tell people the story.
It was
and,
predetermined.
Yeah, I tell people the story and they just look at me and smile like, oh yeah, yeah. And then the people back at the station were looking at each other like I was drunk or something. Yeah, Merlin and John Chapman were looking at each other when we went back for the live shot.
Yeah.
Like I was drunk and, well, what is he talking about? But it's all true. And I tried to convince them of that. And it's very difficult to tell people that a spaceship came down, took you up. And
No, I kind of relate it to acting. I've done a lot of theater. I just got done a show. It's very rare, I have found, that you get in the moment. I call it the magic happens. You're in it. I call it being in it. And it's very rare that you're in it. You don't even know it, but you're one with the script, with the character. You're in it. And it's very rare. And that's what sounds like it happened to you that night.
oh, absolutely. I've been in shows where
You just, all of a sudden, you're there.
I
Because too many times I think about it, blah, blah, blah. I act instead of just do it.
but it's so hard to keep it.
Yes.
It's
That's
so
why
hard
it's
to keep
magical,
it. Yeah.
Dave.
I was singing a song, and all of a sudden you're immersed in this song,
Yes.
and you can't even talk anymore because it has such an emotional
Yes.
control on you.
Because you're one with the song.
I was one with the.
Don't crack the joke. He's
I know.
getting ready. See,
one
he's
with
looking.
the Huskers that night. That
So
voice.
give me the aftermath. They win. Everybody's mobbed. And then all of a sudden you got to lock into doing your job,
Well,
correct?
Ross comes up to me and says, "Guess what?" When the crowd's going crazy, NBC says we can have a whole extra hour because they got it on the Bird, and we can have a whole extra hour.
Satellite. In the old days, you used to be able to, you had to send stuff via the satellite. You had to buy 15-minute windows. Now you can just do it instantaneously. Go.
We got an extra hour because the game didn't go as long as we wanted. And so if you want that extra hour to go live back to Omaha.
Boy, that's like,
And I said, yeah. let's
yeah,
do
that's
it.
like pennies from heaven.
He dragged every single player and coach from that team over there to be interviewed.
And I love Rossi because Rossi, I had him on my show. He's the pack mule. He, with a smile, busted his butt.
He understands. He
Right.
really, truly understands.
Team. So were you emotional at all? during that hour with the players? How hard was it you to keep your emotions out of it and be a sports guy?
My emotions.
But then again, you're real, so you'd want to show your emotions, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I kind of broke down at all during the. Well, you know how I was so proud to be there at the time
Right.
and to have found the corn cob that I really truly believed
At that moment.
had a purpose in this whole thing, and then the next hour just flew by, and I said to myself, this is it. This is the highlight of your career, maybe your life,
Right.
except for my wife and kids.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Got to score points.
But this is the highlight. You're never going to do anything better than this. This is it. And I said, and it's going by, and this is it. And then you get that kind of melancholy feeling.
Yeah.
Am I ever going to do anything more fun and important than this?
Right.
I don't know. I haven't. But I felt that way when Brooke died in the plane crash, and I sat there on the set. Am I ever going to get any sadder than this?
But see, now, Dave, there are going to be some people, because I've heard it, because, you've always lived for your job. I'd get in early because I liked it so much. But what about the family? What about the other life? What about when your kids were born? What about when they graduated from high school or college? Shouldn't they be special moments too? And they are.
I was lucky that I've had those feelings a lot, especially as I get older. Was I there enough for them,
Yeah.
And
It's going to dog me forever.
They come up to me and they hug me and they say, "Dad, we know what you did.
Well,
we know where you were."
Yeah, but my kids will say, you were there, and I'll go, well, listen, I was there 80% of the time, but I still have a sense of
What are you,
guilt.
Ray Romano now?
No. But I still have a sense of guilt. But I did my best,
That's all you can do. And you accept the outcome. You can't go back and change it.
No.
So you might as well, but you don't have to be overly proud of it that you worked so hard and didn't have the relationship with your kids and family that you should.
But again, I think I did. I mean, I used to,
You did the best you
on
could.
Sunday nights, I used to sit between my son's beds, and because I'm like you in this, I'd just make up a story, and I'd just tell a story, and I'd give characters. And my daughter, Lexi, who's now married, would run into the room, and she'd sit next to me on my lap, and I just would make up stories. And sometimes we'd go to Toys R Us. Now, it closed. Now I think it's going to open again. And I would just open the door and say, go. And because I know what it's like to be a child, a kid.
One thing, anything you want.
Yeah, well, no, they just could look.
Oh, you didn't.
Oh, yeah, there were other times we bought stuff. He said, oh, he's got to get, gotta watch this guy. But yeah, so I did things, but I still have a sense of guilt. But I will always say, no one's wanted it more than me. No one's worked harder than me. No one's tried harder than me. And victory, I always say, is in the attempt. Closing words from Dave Weber, because we're almost done.
If you enjoyed your life, then you deserve to be happy about it. There you go.
Yeah, but
You enjoyed and worked hard, then
But like I've said earlier, it just, for me, depends on the day. Not you.
you got some issues you got to get that you got to solve.
What do you think? I didn't know that. Thanks. Episode 4. I mean, you and I can talk forever. Episode 4, Life Lessons. It's over. I'm looking at the clock. It says 19:18. So we appreciate
Thank you for
your
watching.
tuning in for episode 4, Life Lessons. Dave and JJ.
Someday call me and let me know why the hell you watched that show.
If they do it all.
If they do.
Right.
Well, if they don't, they didn't hear that.
We'll see you next time.